Hello, this is 6 Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil.
And I'm Sam.
Fans, woman, countrymen, lend me your ears. Do you know where these famous words are from, Sam?
I think there's a speech by Mark Antony and in William Shakespeare's play, Julius Caesar.
Oh, I'm impressed. Caesar has been assassinated and my elders tried to persuade, persuade, persuade the count to find his killers.
Using words to persuade people, giving them a good reason to do what you say or to accept your argument is known as rhetoric. In this program, we'll be hearing all about rhetoric and, of course, learning some related vocabulary as well.
As of Rhetoric started with the ancient Greek philosophers. Later, during the Roman Republic, politicians and statesmen used rhetoric in speeches given to count in the public square.
Although technology has transformed the way we communicate since then, the art of rhetoric is still alive today. Modern politicians may prefer to return to the public square, but they still use persuasive language including sound bites, short sentences or phrases giving a message in an easy to remember way.
We will return more soon, but first, I have a question for you, Sam. Roman politicians use many rhetorical techniques to persuade people, including the arguments learned at Hermanus, which was an attack on their opposite's moral characters, and other was called the American arguments as relevant. What was his mean by is A. An argument based on knowledge. B. An argument based on emotion. Or C. An argument based on a stick.
Well, to persuade someone, your argument needs to be logical, so I will say A.
Okay, we will find out the answer later. Whether you want someone to vote for you or to buy what you are selling. Rhetoric can make your message persuasive during, during his custom. In the aviation industry, Sam traders learned a lot about persuading people. Here's his spent the many years of rhetoric of the BBC World Service Program, the right factor.
Rhetoric is persuasive language. We use it rarely to simplify the complex to inspire, inspire and influence is important, I think, to identify what strategies may be influencing us more than we think. By understanding the power of language in shaping perceptions, we can start to see. Wondering why people are looking to be so concrete. Are we trying to pull the wool over our eyes on something that's more far complex than we actually state? As well as persuading people, Sam Hartung says rhetoric can be used to rally to bring people together in support of a common goal. A recent example of this is the way politicians called the coronavirus our enemy.
The words publication, choose, and the ways they use them, and influence use influence more than we think. Sampson says we should question whether publication, publicates rhetoric is trying to prove the roof over our eyes and informal ways of saying tricks or deceive us.
But in the age of 24-hour news updates and non-stop Twitter, has the skill of marking a forceful argument be lost? Here's Kendall Phillips, professor of political philosophy at Syracuse, Syracuse University, speaking to BBC World Service, The Why Factor.
It's hard to analyze the arguments or reasoning of the chase code 218 characters is not a way for me to let out logical arguments with a major perceived premise, a mirror premise, and a conclu- con- conclusion. It's much easier to just use a two-word phrase or a head test that usually ends up adding to that kinds of pol- polemical polemical dispersion between my side and their sides. Global problem involves complex issues which cannot be solved in 218 later 18. Later, the maximum length of tweets allowed by Twitter. According to Professor Candy, with the logical arguments containing a prem- premise, some things which you think is true and you use as the basic for developing your idea. And the conclusion, your decision or a path of action based or carefully considering all the reference phase.
For example, climate change is damaging the planet. That's a promise. Therefore, we should act on. Therefore, we should act to stop it. That's a conclusion.
Big issues are simply bad and right false, and this is a problem because Twitter debates are often polemical, 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 argues very strongly either for or argues a particular option or idea.
If you believe passionately in something, you need to explain it to people in a way they understand. And in ancient times, rhetorical also means building bridges between people and finding common ground, like those moments you mentioned, Neil.
Yes, in my question, I understand for the meaning of term virulent and bacterium,
I guess it was an argument based on logic.
which was the wrong answer. I'm afraid. In fact, virulent as bellum means the argument with a stick, or in other words, hitting somebody with a stick until they agree with you. I guess that's one way to win an argument. Okay, let's recap the vocabulary from the program, starting with a short sentence piece, a short sentence or a phrase decided to stick on in the memory.
When people work together, they unite to support a common goal.
To, to prove the roof over someone's eyes means to trick someone.
Logical arguments contain a promise, a truth used as the base for developing an argument, and the conclusions are decisions based on carefully considering all the rele- relevant facts.
Finally, polemical means strongly attacking and defending an option or idea, but there's not arguing the facts. That's once again our 6 minutes up. Our 6 minutes are up. Goodbye for now.